How many times have you heard that as animator, if you want to get a job, you need a very good demo reel? It's all about the demo reel. Doesn't matter your school, doesn't matter where you came from. It's all about the demo reel, right? We heard this millions of times, but one of the things that people, in my opinion, don't really explain that much is that what do you need to put in your demo reel, because obviously people who give this advice, they usually are expert in just one industry, right? So they will tell you what you need to put in the demo reel if you want to apply it to feature, TV series, game, or visual effects, and it's always a little bit different. So because I have experience in all those fields, I've been working a little bit of both TV series, feature, games, and visual effects. Today I want to discuss a little bit more in details how you should tailor actually your demo reel if you want to apply in each industry, and how maybe you can balance it if you want to have more chance to get, to apply in different industries at the same time and having the chance to get in both without necessarily to have to redo an entirely a brand new demo reel just because you want to apply to games and now didn't get a job. You want to make a brand new demo reel because you want to apply to feature, right? It would be a mess. So let's discuss about this. So usually what I tell my students is that when you're studying as animator, the easier way to get your jobs, it's games, all right? Because normally with games, you might get away with just a good demo reel who has a very strong body mechanic shot, right? If you want to go into feature film or visual effects, you need creature, you need acting, which in my opinion is the next step. Is a lot more complicated because it involves human emotion. Creature also is very complicated, right? So you need to study a lot longer, right? So in case you wanna put your foot into the industry, I guess the easier one in a way, it's gaming, all right? But again, let's not generalize everything because games can be gameplay animator or could be cinematic animator, all right? So if you're talking about, for example, gameplay animator, obviously the focus is body mechanics, all right? And I always recommend, again, my student don't put on your demo reel like a walk cycle, a run cycle, a jump in place, and stuff like that, because in my opinion, I think those times are over. Maybe if you're lucky, you can still get a job with one of these, but most of the company, now they're not impressed to say walk cycle or a run cycle or stuff like that. Anybody basically can do that. In fact, when my students work with me, when they're trained with me, I basically force them to do body mechanic shot, where involves a lot more advanced and complicated sequence, no camera cut, right? Not cheating, and performing such complicated movement, complicated sequence. And I can tell you that, guys, when they do the interview and everything, people usually praise them for this. They are impressed that they're able to execute a 10-second, 12-second, or a action sequence or a parkour shot or whatever without any camera cut, where the character is being framed properly clean, right? Because it proves that the animator is able to achieve challenging animation, all right? Is able to animate not just for a few seconds a walk cycle, but an entire sequence for 12 seconds. And definitely something that usually impress a lot of people, because not everybody is able to achieve that with good quality, all right? So if we're staying in the gameplay animator realm, normally what I recommend, it's yes, I would say a parkour shot, for example, all right? Then you may have like a combo attack, okay? If you want to have some chance, in a lot of gaming company, they do combat, the physical combat, so you can have one character only doing like a combo attack, 3 strike, and then go back to idle, right? Maybe a third shot that you want to do is could be like a 2-character shot, maybe 2-character fighting, having some contact, show that you know how to handle 2-character animation. That again, it's something will impress very much the lead animator or the supervisor, if it's well executed, of course, right? Also, another things to keep in mind, if you have a strong portfolio with very good mechanics, again, when you're able to handle multiple character, camera sequence with a lot of shots like that, and so people might think about it, you know what? This actual animator is very good, and you know what? Maybe we don't have a gameplay animator position open, but maybe we have a cinematic position open, because what happened is that some company, when they do cinematic, many of the cinematic are action based, right? And you can always do everything with motion capture when it comes to action. Yeah, sometimes you can do it, but you need to blend them together, you need to exaggerate the mechanics, you need to fix here and that. especially some games that have a very extreme combat cinematic, right? You need very good and solid animator who are able to handle longer animation, right? And that's why your demo reel will fit perfectly, right? So I think with those kind of animation, you are having both door open, okay, for gameplay and for cinematic. Now, if we just want to talk about exclusively about cinematic animation, another things you want to keep in mind, that cinematic is not only action, it's also acting. Another things you need to keep in mind is most company today, 95% at least, when they do cinematic, they basically use motion capture, okay? And if we talk about it when it comes to body mechanics, you need to fix here and there. When it comes to acting, it's a lot more straightforward. It's all about the performance of the actor, not done by you, but a professional actor. And in today's time, there is a good chance also the facial animation will be done by the actor, right? Or some lip sync with automatic system and stuff like that, right? So what's gonna be your job? Well, your job is gonna be handle the camera. So you need to have a good understanding of camera, cinematography, composition, camera cut, storytelling, and stuff like that. Okay, I'm telling you this because it happened back in the days when I was applying as a cinematic job in a few game company, and the task that they gave to me was actually to create a layout, right? So come up with an idea with a storyboard, the framing, stuff like that, because then they will have used this layout to then shoot later the motion capture, right? Obviously, every studio does it a little bit differently, but I would say if you're also interested in cinematic, you need to understand camera. And so if we go back to example that we give before, when I said, hey, you might need like a good parkour shot where the character is climbing and stuff like that, a combo attack and 2 character shot, maybe if you want to make your demo reel really, really complete, you might have like a little sequence with camera, could be a layout or could be a chasing or whatever you want, but something that involves camera direction and camera cut. All right, this I would say will give you really the best edge to get a job, because now you're it's true that you're focusing only on body mechanics with a little bit of camera, but body mechanics has also a lot of variety, you know what I mean? And this one will open, I can guarantee you guys, it will open a lot of doors for you, okay guys? If you want to talk instead about feature film, you're most interested in feature film, well, definitely you still want to have a body mechanic shot on your portfolio, all right? Because it's always good to see that an animator is able to handle strong physicality, to make weight believable, interesting timing and stuff like that. Because again, one of the difficult things in animation is to make things with weight, right? Most of the time, characters feel weightless, right? They have no weight. So proving that you're able to handle that, it's number one priority. Obviously, let's come to the second things. If you want to work in feature film, acting is very important, right? So I would suggest you to have at least a 1 character shot acting, okay? Could be maybe something very exaggerated. Generally, I like to have at least a couple of shots when it comes to acting. 1 character acting, maybe something where the character it's pushing his feeling, maybe a little bit more exaggerated and stuff like that. And maybe a second one where it's a little bit more subtle. Subtle doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, right? Because it's very difficult to hold a pose and move very subtly the facial to make you think like, okay, this character is actually thinking about something, it's going through something, all right? So don't underestimate how difficult could it be. So we'll have this couple of shots, and definitely then a 2 character acting, all right? Because it's important that you're able to handle multiple character when you do acting, how one character act, how the other character is reacting, the balancing, the framing, and maybe if you're doing something like that, then you can use the 2 character shots to start also to add a little bit of camera. Nothing too complicated, again, it's not action or anything, but you want to be able to see that you're able to hand camera, nice framing, and nice cinematography, all right? Because again, this is an extra edge, all right? So I think this, if you're interested into feature film, guys, this probably will give you the best edge. When it comes to visual effects, then in general, I will try to have like a balance. I will try to have like yes, I still want to have like a very strong body mechanic shot. Human character, I will have a couple of creature shot because visual effects, they have a lot of creature nowadays. So maybe I will focus a little bit more on the creature side. Okay, again, it's good if you're able to show that you're able to do one creature and then two creatures together. That's how you could split it, and maybe a little bit of acting. Okay, because again, visual effects. Today's visual effects is not just creature. You do also human character. Okay, some human character are done fully in CG, and it's good to be able to have a mix of body mechanics and acting. So maybe acting doesn't need to be the craziest acting ever, but able to show that you're able to show emotion through a human character is still a very nice thing. So that's how we'll balance it for visual effects: one body mechanic shot for human, two creature, and one acting. All right. So I would say this one again is still open the doors to visual effects, but again, it could open also the door for gaming, for example, because again, you still have a body mechanic shot, right? And you still have creature, and a lot of games they have creature as well, right? So there might be other company that say, okay, you know what, in our game we need someone who does we need creature animation, so we need someone like this. Your demo reel might fit perfectly. Okay, and there is one last thing obviously that we want to talk about it, and it's the style. All right, because let's be very clear: if your style is super photorealistic and you're applied to a company who does extremely cartoon Warner Brothers style, they're gonna look at your reels. It's very beautiful, but it's not what you're looking for. They are gonna pass. And this is very complicated because obviously you don't want to make a demo reel that it's fully photorealistic and then make another one that's fully cartoony. So again, here is very key to find the balance. If you still want to work in games, again, 90%, well, maybe now today actually it's getting a little bit less. I would say 80%, 70% are gonna look for realistic animation. So maybe I would say you need to have a couple of shots that look very realistic. Doesn't mean that you cannot exaggerate it, that you only have to copy the reference, right? But you know what I mean, like still very grounded and very realistic, right? And maybe you take one shot, maybe the combo one, where you push the limit of your animation. Doesn't have to look Warner Brothers style cartoony, but you can make those poses really exaggerated, those movements are really big. If you take a video game like, for example, Final Fantasy, the character make this very quick, sharp attack, they jump in the air, they do combo, definitely not realistic at all, right? So you could have one animation like this in your reel, right? And so again, you have three shots that looks quite realistic and one that is more exaggerated. And this way, I would say it really covers as much as you can. I think this one will give you the best balance possible and the best opportunity to get a job. Obviously, guys, I wanna restate one more time: you need quality. Okay, all those numbers, all these kind of different shots don't mean anything if the quality is not good. You need to be aware of that the bar to enter it's increasing, especially after what happened last year, that a lot of people being laid off, there was a strike, blah 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 blah. So there are more people in the market and are looking for a job. So competition is hard. You can still get a job as a junior, mid-level, but you get a really strong demo reel. But I know you heard about this before. I don't want to repeat myself. So just work really hard and keep pushing and looking for your dream job. See you next time, guys. Ciao.